Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Sonny, the co-creator of Bad Accents and Super BA Kids. The reason for this video, I want to help people here in Hawaii and other people kind of get more of an insight of how and what it takes to start a brand. First thing I recommend everybody to do is get a seller's permit. The seller's permit is what you need to sell your stuff legally. So if you're like in Oahu, say for instance, you make t-shirts and you're doing stuff already, you make bracelets or whatever you're doing to sell, and you end up going to Waikiki, which is blocks down from where I live right now, and I see it every weekend. People sell stuff, and often you see people, the law enforcement will come, like a cop, and they'll ask somebody who's selling something, like, let me see your seller's permit, and they'll be like, I don't have one, and they're like, well, you know, they'll either warn you and tell you to leave, or it might be that they already warned you before and you think they're not going to remember or something, and they have the right to confiscate your stuff, everything that you had out there. I'm not sure if they take your money or anything, but if it's there on the table, I mean, legally they could take it. So this is why I tell people all the time, like, get your seller's permit. It only takes like 25 to 27 bucks. I know it's under 30 bucks at the taxation office in downtown Honolulu, and the reason for that, it helps you legally sell stuff. What you should want to do is legal, especially if you have a brand you wanted to grow, not keep running into stuff, and it's only 25 bucks. And you think about it, 25 bucks, and usually people sell their t-shirts for 25 bucks. If you can't afford a seller's permit but you want people to buy 25 bucks, like, just slap yourself. It don't make sense to me. That's kind of my concept with that, with the seller's permit. But second, what you want to do, if you know you're going to start your own clothing brand, and if you don't know already, you want to start learning how to do graphic designs. Now, Adobe has a ton of, well, not a ton, it has like two main ones, Photoshop and Illustrator. Learn your graphic designs, and what's a good thing when you start learning graphic designs, creating them, is that for me, for instance, after I started learning how to do it and was comfortable doing them, I started sharing it on social media, I think on Instagram and Facebook. And I remember on Instagram, the first person asking me was, they're like, hey, I like that design. Did you do that yourself? And I was like, yeah, I did it myself. I said, yeah, I know how to do graphic designs, or most graphic designs. I think I could pretty much do everything now, but not at the time. And they liked what I had, so obviously they wanted something like it. And graphic design, they wanted their own shirt. So I ended up like, oh man, I could make money off of my own stuff that we're selling, me and my wife, with our brand. And then there's also the potential of freelance. I was in the military for like 11 years, and then when I got out, it's when we started the brand and started learning these things, and got the seller's permit, got the Illustrator, learned Illustrator, Photoshop. Now I know like Lightroom, taking photography, 2D animations with After Effects, which is another Adobe program, 3D animation with Maya, which is a real expensive program, like $5 grand or something. And on social media, this guy named Chad from the Crappy Kids messaged me. He said, hey, you should come and check out the Art and Flea. And I was like, what's that? What's Art and Flea? And he said, oh, message back, it's where you could sell stuff. I think you would do pretty good over here. So I checked it out. Me and my wife went to it, and the Art and Flea has an average, and it's always growing, but it's pretty much like 1,000 people show up to this one event, and it's usually from every third Thursday of the month, and it's from like 5 to 10 p.m. and 1,000 people, I would say, guaranteed to go. Some stuff, teas, alcohol, it doesn't matter, but it has real good food. They have, I like to drink, so I'll go get drinks, and then I also shop. And when we went to the event that Chad was talking about, it was at the old Fresh Cafe, and when we went more like to shop around and also do like a recon. So we needed our own table. I asked, how do you sign up for it? So I talked to Chad over there. He's like, oh, you just go online and apply for it. And one of the first things they say, you know, like, besides what do you sell, what's your company name, what's your like social media account, so they could share it too. It said it was pretty much like all came down to that. None of that matters if you don't have a seller's permit, because they're not going to support somebody who's selling in a way illegal. It doesn't mean it's illegal, it's just not by the law standards. So we had our seller's permit, and then the next month we ended up going, and it was pretty awesome. A lot of people, you know, it takes you in a place where you would never know the feeling of something of yours that you made and sold, especially the very first time. It's like I mean, we're thankful. Like when somebody buys something or says like, oh, these characters are amazing, because I do a lot of characters. I love characters. I call myself a character guru. And we had such a good time, and we try to go every other time, but I had classes all of like the last 2 years, and majority of the classes ended up falling like during that time and on that Thursday. And I was like, crap, man. But every time we have the chance, we have to go. But we'll be on the next one, March 26th. But it's one of those things why it's important to have a seller's permit. I wouldn't have been able to go into the art fleet without it, and it's only like 25 bucks. If this video helps, I want y'all to go, you know, make sure you yourself is doing the right thing. Get the seller's permit, learn the programs, go on social media, share your work, network with people, go to things like, if you're here on the island, art and fleet, the Honolulu night market, the Blaisdell, look at stuff, look at options. I wish all of y'all the best of luck, and if you got any questions about, you know, where to get the seller's permit or something, I'll leave that down below in the description. And yeah, check me out on Instagram or Twitter. I'll put the Facebook, I'll just leave that stuff at the end. But until next time, keep doing what you're doing, and I hope that's better.